everyone, it's Freya here from Avon Wildlife Trust, and today we're making the first of our new My Wild Child videos here up at Grow Wilder, and we're going to be having a good look at trees. Now trees are really important because they're homes to lots and lots of wildlife, such as birds, like these friendly blackbirds I've got here, and such as squirrels who you see scampering up and down the trees all day. And they're home to lots and lots of different insects. But trees are also really important because they provide oxygen in the air all around us that we breathe. So, shall we go and meet some of the trees that live here at Grow Wilder? Follow me. So I'm just walking through the woods now at Grow Wilder, and there's a few different types of trees in here, but I'm going to carry on through and find one of the biggest, tallest trees on site. So this is a great big tree on site here at Grow Wilder, and deep below the ground are its roots, and here is its strong, majestic trunk, which grows up into its branches, which reach out into the sky, and on the end of all the branches are its leaves. So has anyone guessed what this tree is yet? We can tell by looking at the leaves. And this tree's leaves have these wiggly bits all around the outside, which I think look a little bit like toes. And this tree also has something very special growing on its twigs next to the leaves. This is a kind of nut. Does anyone know what it's called? It's called an acorn, and squirrels love to eat acorns, and they collect them up in the autumn and they hide them so that they've got something to feast on during the winter. So we can tell by looking at these wiggly toe leaves and these acorns that have their little hats on, you hold them that way up, that these leaves here and the big tree that we were looking at is an oak tree. So this tree is much smaller and it's got a much thinner trunk, and this one has lots of ivy growing around it. And we can tell what kind of tree this is, again, by looking at its leaves. So the shape of these leaves is a bit like a triangle. And it has these pointy, spiky bits growing off to the sides. And next to the leaves on this tree, we can see not acorns like the oak, but berries, these beautiful red shiny berries. And they tell us, these berries and these spiky leaves, that this tree is a hawthorn. And blackbirds are some of the birds who love to eat the berries off the hawthorn in the autumn. So this tree is called the hawthorn because on its branches it has these very spiky thorns, which are very sharp to touch. And they grow there to protect the tree from animals like deer that might want to nibble away at all its leaves and some of its bark. So this here is one of my favourite trees. And if you look at the leaves on this one, you'll be able to see that they're quite a round shape. Here's a good one. They're quite round with a point right at the end. And if you feel them with your fingers, you'll be able to feel that they're quite soft and even a little bit furry. And underneath, hiding, is a different kind of nut. And at the moment it's looking very green because it's not ripe. But as the autumn comes on, it'll turn brown. And this is a kind of nut that we can eat. It's called a hazelnut. And this is a hazel tree. So while you're out exploring the trees, either here at Grow Wilder or somewhere else, in a park or in your garden, or maybe out on a walk, see if you can collect just one leaf from each of those trees that you meet. We don't want to take too many leaves, but just one from each tree to help you remember what they look like and what they're called. So this is the oak leaf with its wiggly bits around the side. And this is the hawthorn with its spiky bits coming out from the middle. And this is the hazel, which is round with a point, and it's soft and furry when you touch it. And there's just another couple of activities that you can do while you're out exploring the trees, and I'm going to show you what those are now. So one of the other things that you can do when you're exploring the trees is have a look at their bark. Because different trees have different textures, different lines, different shapes in their bark, depending on the type of tree and depending how they've grown over the many, many years they've been alive. And to help me have a bit more of a closer look at the bark, I'm going to make a bark rubbing. So you could take with you a piece of paper and a crayon, place it on the tree, and then with your crayon, if you rub up and down, you'll start to see the pattern of the bark coming through onto your paper. And this tree that I've chosen is the ash tree. And so you can see the pattern of the bark running down in lines where my crayon has picked it up. And the other thing that you could do whilst you're out and about getting to know the trees is to see if you can see any birds living in them. And to do that you could use our garden bird detective spotter sheet. And if you've picked up one of our special My Wild Child kits, then you'll have one of these in there. But you can also print it off from our Wildlife Watch website. So you can use these, and if you watched our video a couple of months ago, you might have made a pair of toilet roll binoculars. So you could take those with you and use them to look up to the tops of the trees to find the birds. And if you haven't made a pair, they're very easy to make, and you could watch our birds video to find out how we've done it. So have fun getting to know the trees when you're out and about, and if you'd like to, you can share some photos with us on the My Wild Child Facebook group. See you soon!